All right, let's start up, and if people can come in, then that's great. I don't know if we're recording. Does anybody think we are? Do we need to go around and introduce ourselves for the audience, or
I don't think it's on,
okay,
honestly.
we'll just move ahead. I just was gonna just touch on, this meeting. I had some input from Blair. I thought we'd just touch on just some brief updates, if people have updates for the chapters. And then kind of go into the vision chapter and see if we can kind of get some concurrence on that. We may only need this one meeting to do that, and then present any updates or anything like that later on to everybody. And that was kind of it. I wanted to just kind of also include some of the master plan logistics. And as you just found out, Kevin, Ellen has set up a SharePoint site. So the town has that up. I don't know how editable. We all have access.
I don't know how to use it, or how to access it, so.
Okay. Well,
Well, it might be a good idea if each of the subcommittees has one person that's going to be the inputter editor, rather than
That's just
everybody
their
going
plan.
at it, yeah.
That's just their plan to give us editing access to each of the chapters.
yeah, and I think it's,
And she was just making it today, so there's nothing
Yes.
in there.
she's just making it today.
Oh, okay, so,
You don't have, yeah, she just sent it like 2 hours ago.
oh,
An email that just lets you get to that website. And
is this part of the town website, or is it?
it's not, it's kind of a background of the town website. It's not actually gonna be on the website, so it's not gonna be public.
Okay, rephrase that. In other words, we have to access it separately than the town website.
Yes.
That's
See-
important.
See,
Yes.
it's an email from Ellen, and then there's that, and that links us to it.
So we,
So we have to verify our identity, and then we can go in and wreak havoc.
yep,
So only the people on this committee can access the SharePoint site.
Right.
Because it's a spot where we can go in and edit.
All right, that sounds like an improvement.
Yeah.
And we don't need any special passwords or anything like that, once we have access.
yeah, once you have access,
See what it says.
it just sends you a code.
It asks, I haven't gone in, but it's gonna ask for your email, and then you hit next, and then it'll take you to the next step.
Cool.
It looks like this, Steve. Okay,
And then what's on it?
Nothing yet,
Okay,
nothing yet. It's-
just the title.
The master plan is probably here, but
The old one.
Right.
the old one, but it's not editable yet, so.
So I'll get with it. I spent some time, and this was gonna be part of my updates, but I think let's keep on going here. Logistically, I took all of the chapters individually and have the PDFs and Word documents, so editable Word documents in each individual chapter directory. I think I'd like to see if she can just, or me, will just upload that to the site. And then, so each chapter has its own folder.
good.
Makes sense.
That makes a lot, rather than one big.
Yeah, we'll combine it at the end.
And I know I haven't said this, because I think part of our grant is money for somebody to do the final editing. But if we don't have that, I did work for Lonza as a technical writer, and I have no problem at all putting this all together, editing it, getting all the same format, doing, the exact margins, whatever we need. Like, I can do that really quickly.
So we can rough, and then you can
We can
polish.
rough and I can polish, perfect, and put it all in the same, tone of voice, and, make sure that it all flows the way, so that it all sounds like one person wrote it, like a one group.
Terrific, thank you.
Yeah.
And then it's gonna be on each individual chapter members to come up with, some new photos and whatever data is needed, graphs, tables, figures, something like that. So each chapter will have something specific to that.
Right.
So some may not even have photos. But I think we should try and make it as graphic as possible. We don't have to have graphic artists
I
doing
agree
it,
with
but let's,
It makes it much more, in publishing, they call it tombstones, which is just words,
mhm.
and you wanna really spice it up.
Well, people are more likely to look at it if it's not just dense text.
Yes,
I know Drew is working with the folks to get like all kinds of maps and all that. Sounds like he and Mary he and, well, somebody else is on that committee, Kristen.
Hmm.
They were working on it.
So I just wanted to mention that just kind of those logistics. I think we're in a good place now. We'll have a place to go put these edits and start editing and start tracking maybe. And, Kevin, you mentioned that you've got a spreadsheet of the older action items. Maybe that's something that goes into each chapter too, and it just gets scratched off of what has been done or what still needs to be done, and then, that just would then create the next action plan, and you as your own selective group will kind of add some action plans or action items to that plan.
Well, each chapter.
Each chapter, yeah, that's what I meant, each chapter group.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Well, this is the first time I've normally done selectmen's meetings, but that clock is very formidable.
Do you want me to put it further back?
No, but it's just, talk about being aware. I'm still used to the old Overwatch, which you fudge a little. There's no fudging with this one.
No, you're right on time.
And is that there all the time now in this room? I guess I'm assuming. Wow. So I can see the selectmen feeling a certain degree of pressure.
All right, so then, anything else anyone has on kind of logistics of how things should operate? Then we'll go into the sections. I do have a couple updates on the first two from Blair. He's not obviously gonna be here today. He has limited amount of meetings he can come to. He's going to plan to be at the next meeting on August 26th. I'm not sure what, his elements of that meeting wants to be, but he'll be here for the next one. So for housing and population, let me just read a couple things that he had sent. Oh, I'm gonna talk about both these. So the Natural Resources Grant, he said
I just want to be, on housing, I don't know what's there, but we were circulated the results of the survey. Is that gonna, that's to me, that was gonna guide housing, I thought.
Yeah, so I had asked him if we should publish that to the town website or just keep it internal for now to utilize, and
What did he think?
well, his response was that, it was 162 people out of, 5,300. So it's a very small sample, and we should be taking that into consideration too.
Let me ask it another way, in your expertise. Does that help, did it help you? Did something you gained out of it that you didn't know about?
I haven't read through all of them, but what I've read through so far, there are no surprises in there.
Yeah, the only surprise to me was how many people are devoted and want to stay in this town.
Mhm.
That's incentive to try to do something to make sure that people can stay in this town. That's what I gained out of it.
Yeah. There was, both sides, people want some development, some people want no development, some, we all know what we're up against with that, but I think, the diversity is needed of the types of available
Yeah.
available residences.
And that to me led me, again, just from my talking with the town administrator, that one of the things we may want to think about is recommendations to change or think about zoning.
Mm-hmm.
If we want to change the equation, zoning seems to be important.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the things I gleaned from it.
Yeah.
I think some of our zoning is going to be forced to be changed based on what the state has just passed.
Good point.
Yeah, there are.
So we need to parse
Absolutely.
through that and see what that dictates.
I'm aware, this is new to me, what's the state saying?
There's a whole number of different things. I don't know them all.
It was on the Stratford thing that they sent to us. If you just click on them, they take us to different of what they passed.
Mhm.
And it says, oh, like ADUs can be a different size and they don't
What's an
have to.
ADU?
Accessory dwelling unit.
Basically, it's,
An
there's
apartment.
more allowances now.
Yeah.
For, it's better. It's a good, like, there's some good things, you
Okay,
know, so
that's
it's,
important.
and there are things that's part of the grant that we got, is writing those, and looking through all that stuff and building it into our housing chapter and our master plan, but also just, you know, to make sure that we're in line with all of them. That's part of what the grant, and that's part of why Blair will be working with, you know, because the expertise that he brings.
I find that very helpful information, thank you.
And we'll have to also look at what our zoning regs are and make sure that we're in compliance.
Yeah, because we have things in our zoning now that since the state has a different, you know, regulation or law, that's supersedes what we have as local, so
Oh, okay.
it allows us to get a little bit more flexible.
Good.
So to answer your original question, should it be put out in the public? There's a workshop being planned in the fall, right?
Mhm.
So maybe a month before that, we'd want to summarize that to a one-pager, that whole, you know, thing, like, there's so many people responded, would like to get more, please come to our workshop.
Mhm.
And here's what these people told us in a very, very high-level summary. That might get some more interest or other people to come. That's the whole idea of the workshop, right?
Yeah,
Is to, it's okay, so about a
Like that
month
idea.
before, you know, and then you can say, you know, here's a summary of, you can see the whole document on the website if that's appropriate to do at that time. So
Kevin, remind me,
that's my thought.
what, this workshop is on, when is that workshop?
I don't think it's been
We
scheduled.
haven't scheduled them yet.
You just said it, you
We're
gave me a
going-
date.
Our plan is to have one.
In the fall.
Okay,
Is
I
what,
heard.
I think Blair was thinking fall.
It's on that timeline,
yeah, so,
that one.
yep, so there is a workshop, oh, these are all different now, but, so a workshop was gonna be scheduled in October. That's, we don't have a date yet, but we should probably start putting one together.
And do you think, just out of curiosity, are we talking weeknight or weekend?
We haven't decided it yet,
We're not there yet, Steve.
Okay. Good, I just thought, I thought, I misinterpreted what you said. I thought there was a date.
Not yet.
Okay.
yeah, so we're still in the kind of the data, as far as the housing chapter goes, it's still in the data analysis and custom mapping. I'm not sure if that's, the custom mapping has started yet.
What would custom mapping entail?
Not sure,
There's a custom mapping.
not sure.
Isn't that more of what we needed to have done for all of the maps, you know, that chapter of
The natural history maps?
natural resources, and like, I think that's the custom mapping, like the people that come out to do that. And
Okay.
that's part of the grant too.
Yeah, I was thinking this was just the housing.
Oh.
Oh, that's what he has on here, is just the housing.
No,
This was before we got the grant for the other
Right.
natural resources, so
might be where we would encourage a diversity of housing as opposed to what we have now.
Right,
Yeah,
maybe
no
it's,
idea.
maybe it's like we identified this, a map that says this is the commercial area, this is the certain residential area, maybe there's elderly housing, maybe there's, some other more dense housing to, smaller spaces, smaller
Mhm.
areas for more
Apartments.
affordability, yeah, apartments. Yeah. I love that, maybe we'll go into some of that detail with Blair the next time.
Number 2,
Let's see. So natural resources, there was a PREPA meeting today, which he attended. I didn't, this was before that meeting, but he just said that there was gonna be one today.
What's proper mean?
It's the people that are putting the grant, so the natural resources grant that we got, that's the organizer of that grant or the distributes it. So there was a meeting today to go over more defined scope of what that means. And then it was just kind of a kickoff meeting. He's drafting a scope of work to hire a sub-consultant who can conduct some of the technical work around the LiDAR imagery and vernal pools and prime wetlands. So they'll have a sub-consultant that'll do some of that mapping. And he's been coordinating with Drew on that. And that's the only updates he has.
okay, number 3,
Number
right on the second.
3,
And what we have is a spreadsheet that we took each of the sub-chapters, agricultural, forest, land current use, etc. Got some questions, like does this number apply, etc., etc. We have some inputs from Ellen, so the color, got a column here for data source, where is it coming from? Who's working it, status, done or working, and then any other comments that you'd want to put. So there's I don't know, about 3 dozen kind of actions. Another tab has the 2011 old master plan actions, and I think the next time we meet, we'll go through these and say this one's still important and this one, is an NA or whatever.
Yeah.
And then we'll give our observations and opinions back to the group, perhaps next meeting or
Yeah,
a
I think
meeting
we
after
can be
that.
there by then.
Okay.
so the format of that spreadsheet, did you have the spreadsheets from the previous one, or they just got
It's just
reformatted and made up?
I just made it up. Mary did a lot of
Okay,
the initial work, and I just formatted it so that it could be tracked.
Great.
Yeah, I asked questions and recorded information and made comments. And then Kevin put it in an Excel spreadsheet with columns. So again, we can see what we're doing and assign it and then follow it through.
okay, well, maybe that's,
So I sent you a copy,
yep,
and if you think
Maybe
it's
we'll take it.
pertinent
maybe
for the other groups to,
utilize it there, yeah.
Because to do it, basically what I did was just go through the old chapter and use some of their headings and ideas and concepts and then constructed my piece, which he did the Excel from. I think it makes it easier. We had a meeting and it was just easy to see, yeah, well, we need to look into this.
Mhm.
And we took assignments, and so not all have been done, but we're on the way.
Great,
and then the other tabs is what did we do on the second, what actions were taken from my perspective. We all sort of took our own actions, but. So that's number 3. And if you're doing 3 minutes each, you better be moving on to number 4.
For number 4, we're started, we haven't made a lot of progress. I kind of fell behind for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, but now that if we have the SharePoint and we have a document to work from,
It'll be easier.
we can do it in an hour. Like, it really, I
Well-
mean, it's not gonna take that long.
One of the things that I, and I
We've already
shared this
agreed,
with you, that I don't want it to be a history lesson.
Right.
You know, for the historical
There's a bunch of
chapter,
stuff.
I want it to be, what are our buildings that are historical and what should we do to maintain them,
Mhm.
and then point out a few things. But I think it fits right in with the facilities committee and a few other things.
Yeah, definitely looking at how can they be utilized. Not, like you said, going back in history of what they all are.
Yeah,
Cause that's what it is right now.
Yeah,
and I'm part of that, and we looked at the dams and the mills, and that's even relevant now, especially with the work on Pawtucket and Dolph Dam. So it's extremely relevant.
yeah.
And then the cemeteries, which always end up being an issue. So I'm going to clarify some of the information with the town cemetery committee and what we know is legal with cemeteries, graveyards and all of that.
Yep.
And put that in there so that it's a resource that people can reference.
Yeah, noting the, the statues that
Right,
are around, the, not statues that are in the cemetery, but the statues
right.
Yes.
Very good.
that go,
The RSAs.
the RSAs, yeah.
And we can just maybe list those and make them hyperlinks so people could go to them. But there's always a lot of questioning and misunderstanding.
I think that would be great,
Yeah,
to have this be an actual resource that people could use, because then
Yeah.
maybe
that's a great point,
they keep looking at it.
is embedding some hyperlinks in this thing to, get
Yeah.
people to go,
Yeah.
Or QR code, something, so that
Yeah,
people
yeah,
can go right
yeah.
to the source.
oh, it's great. That's a great idea.
Next,
Transportation,
Dave and I have been meeting weekly. We've come up with nothing.
we've got to start, right?
Is that what it is? Is that what it is?
Yeah, we've gone through, we have not done anything. But like I said, I've focused on getting all of the chapters so that we can get a Word file that we can start editing. So that's the extent that I've done for 5 and for 8, so.
Okay, and for that, we've used the Chinese proverb, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step.
Yes.
Yep, and I think, collectively it'll come together on the SharePoint site. Economic development, well, Chris, Tim, Drew, Kristen. Missing. Community facilities, Tim said that he couldn't be here. But he said that he's got a lot of stuff there that he's already done and he's submitted that. We'll get that up on the SharePoint just as much,
Have they resurrected the facilities committee?
I don't think it's active.
Okay.
The answer they have.
I thought that I heard
I-
Charlotte say something about it.
Huh?
No, I've been at the meetings. They have resurrected it. It's called the Advisory Facilities Committee. Carpenter, no, Anderson. Gary Anderson's head of it. On it is Eric Davis, and Charlotte Fife is on it. So it has been resurrected and recast, and it is in existence and it's going. So it's not, it's there.
Okay. What did you call that?
They call it, I believe, the Advisory Facilities Committee. What they did is they're building on what they did before, wanted to follow up all those recommendations and keep moving forward. So as you know, you're meeting with them, or someone's going for just
The harvest supper, they were over at the Grange today looking at that and how to utilize that potentially.
Right, but I know that Charlotte Fife, so they're starting to do, they're moving forward already. They're active.
Okay.
They actually went into the Grange?
Today. I don't think we can have anything there. There's no facilities for anything.
Yeah.
Like, there's no bathroom, it's not ADA compliant, it's like no heat, no electricity, but they went over.
Funny, I was only gone from the SAU office like 2 hours today, and I would have liked to have checked it out myself too. That's a
Oh,
bummer. I wanted
sometime
to go
stop
in.
by. we have a key.
We have a
Oh,
key.
yeah, that's funny.
Energy, Kevin, you haven't done anything, right?
No,
Me either.
I haven't either,
Okay.
sorry.
Well,
is
can't,
this what you do,
no,
your bailiwick? No?
I'm more on the transportation.
Oh, okay, okay.
We can
Um,
have a meeting, I'll be glad to host it. We can talk about what it is we're supposed to do.
I think it's important just to look at the chapter and,
Yep.
I mean, once you
Yeah.
look at the chapter, it's.
Alright, well, I'll look at the chapter, that's our assignment.
Well, that's what you do, that's what you like to do.
I do,
This is comment about
alright,
the
It's pretty
chapter.
straightforward, it's not a
Okay.
very long.
Put it in an
Yeah, I
Excel
know,
this
that one's
time.
a pretty short chapter.
well, I'll let you do that. I'll look at the chapter, I'll make an outline, I'll give it to Kevin, and he'll give it to you. How's that?
Great.
We got it.
Parks and Rec,
I have interviewed Courtney and Bridget and talked about all of the new things. And they are happy to work with me on any of the updates, like with the specifics. And I've talked with Dirk about it. Because, the community facilities is kind of, they've done some of that work already there too. They've talked about the rec facilities, but there's a lot of new stuff with our recreation department especially. So I did an interview with them and, like I said, they're fine with
so,
helping to update anything that needs
so
to.
we
And I
should
figure we
include
get
it.
pictures and things. Oh, absolutely. There's so much more available here. I think it's important to put that in there.
Mhm.
And to
There's
me,
even-
what's great is there's a huge, the fact that we're in this room and they've moved into the old room, it's really made a
It's
light year
it's
ahead.
incredible the
Yeah.
difference it makes walking in there.
More
It feels
efficient,
so
more- yeah.
professional and like and there's just, it makes you, I mean, I know how much they do
Mhm.
and how many services they provide. But I think that when people walked into that other office, it was hard for them to fathom.
It was just like a little
Okay,
cave.
they did,
Yeah.
and now when you walk in there, it feels like, oh my gosh, all these desks and computers and people, and you can really wrap your brain around
Yeah.
the senior services and the kids things and the youth development and the different fields they have going on and just all these things. It seems like much more possible and just like, it's just so nice. I love that new
It's
room.
awesome.
You're right,
It's incredible.
Yeah.
Just when I walked in, I was, look at you guys. They're so excited about it too. It's so fun.
That's awesome.
It is. It's great.
And then that's all, that's the only last section, right? I mean, we don't have any other sections we're gonna include in this. All right. So let's just talk a little bit more about the beginning part of this, the vision. And I'm not gonna take any credit for this information. She put together just a summary of, well, you can explain it. What'd you do?
So I went through I used our old master plan and its vision statements that were in there. But I also incorporated information I'd gotten back from the interviews that I did with Chief of Police, with Fawn, with Laura at the school, I also did an interview with Courtney, Rex. I haven't talked to John yet, but then, looking at the survey results and, just what we've been talking about and all the housing, all of those meetings that I went to, all those workshops, and just came up with a starting point. And it's basically our old vision, that was in our other master plan, but just a little bit more updated with some new kind of infrastructure and just updated wording and thoughts about where we are now in Nottingham and in the state in general and what we might need for housing and stuff. And again, this is just a jumping off point, so a place to start, because we need to start somewhere.
This is very
That's
good.
So Blair-
That's the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. There you go.
Blair asked us to do some interviews with some key folks.
Yep.
I'm not sure if we've seen the results of that from Blair yet,
I sent all the transcripts of all mine to Blair. I don't know if anybody
but
else
we
has done
just
that.
we just haven't seen that back.
Yes,
Yeah.
yep.
So
I think he was
really,
planning on
you
bringing
should
with
be
him.
the one to see those results, to add to this vision, because it's
Oh, I mean, I did
some of the
3
key
of
folks.
them. Yeah, I would need the rest of them. Yeah.
Yeah, and I know
could add
Blair
those
has done
into it.
some.
Yeah.
I don't know how.
I did Dale, for instance.
You did Dale?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, and I know, and I saw the results from, that Steve got from Ellen.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
I mean, I
Yeah,
could,
again,
I guess I
we
could send you
said that
what I
from
sent
a
him.
couple of weeks ago, so I'm surprised it hadn't been generated.
We'll probably see that next month.
That's what I figured, that he might just be bringing everything with him the next meeting.
Or feed it to us a little bit ahead for reflection.
So you would like feedback from this?
Again, this is just something because I saw on the agenda that we were gonna be talking about all of this, and so I just drew up something as a place to start.
But you didn't answer my question.
If you want to give feedback, feel free.
Okay.
Or you can take it home with you and never read it, it's fine.
No, I like it. One of the details I would put in, I don't know how to phrase it, but I love the lush landscape, woodlands, lakefront, conservation. I would also put in mountains. Cause I think it's one of the, or hills, it's more than just landscape.
Lakefront.
But it did, I think that one of the neat things, obviously, we can claim Pawtuckaway Mountain, then.
Yeah.
I do think that it's one of the unique things that we do have some mountains.
Yeah, we do, I know, I climbed it so many times.
I've climbed it without oxygen. So I just wanna put that word in there, that's all.
Yeah.
Cause I love the flavor of it. It just, you've hit the
I think
basics.
that's nice. There aren't many towns that can claim a mountain. You're absolutely correct. South Mountain, Middle Mountain, North Mountain. We have them all.
There was a few meetings back where we actually did go through kind of the vision. I'm not sure if you were you at that meeting? Okay, good. I just didn't remember, I don't know if I didn't write anything down for edits
I
or
mean,
things like that.
we
There was-
talked about it. I didn't know if we were gonna keep it exactly the same or if we were gonna add to it. I mean, if we were, I just thought that it probably could use a little bit of an update.
Yeah, I think there was some people that were caught up on some words or some wording, but
Well, that's the whole thing. Wordsmithing is the vision statement, is all what it's all about. I mean, I've been in committees for years and we spend millions of hours, but a vision statement is very important.
yeah, absolutely.
So sorting out the words is, I think, a valuable thing. So I would like to use the vision statement, which he's got on the front page, as kind of the template that we would massage and try to use that as the, lead that to the vision statement. Because I feel it's covered the bases that I'm concerned about.
And I guess I thought that, like, you know, this is great and it has all these, and we could, you know, put these things in here, but I thought that when we were here and when we were talking and what has come back, like, that we were spending an awful lot of time talking about Nottingham's rural character.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
that in our master plan, we really need to be a little bit more forward thinking about, you know, how, you know, with the sustainability of the town and housing and, you know, funding and all kinds of things like that.
Yep.
And that's a lovely vision statement, but I feel like it
This is more
doesn't,
this is more comprehensive. That's what I like about
yeah,
it.
it really talks about us being like a rural farming community and we're not.
So you're thinking here, at least the way that this is laid out, is this, so we have this kind of overall general vision and then the statements specific to what you've, you know, kind of what individual statements about it. I guess that's kind of what this goes through, but
Right, maybe just going through it, you know, if we need to use that same exact format that's there,
we
then
don't have to use.
then we can.
Oh,
Well, but we can also just go through and maybe update it a little bit with statements like this. They don't have to be exactly this, I'm just saying, like, what was in there just seems so, I'm trying to think of just just seems kind of like old fashioned,
Mm.
like, you know, and
Well, this is comprehensive, that's what.
not updated, you know, as of more modern. Maybe modern is the word, way I'm trying to think.
Yeah, and I like that this is more something you can read versus just a table of bullets. And this gives a little bit better explanation of.
And I don't know if
I
the
like
rest
it.
of this was just kind of, you know, like implementation priority, you know, these are things, implementation that, cause we keep thinking about, or we keep talking about having these workshops, and we keep talking about what are we gonna do to make sure that these things happen, that this isn't just a document that sits on the shelf. And so these were just some of the other, you know, things that we'll need to do coming up, but the vision was just in the front part here.
Well, one of the things I'd still like to see a little more emphasis on, and I don't know, it can weave into what you have, is the natural resources, you know, in terms of the land use, because we do have a lot of high priority biodiverse land here with protected and endangered species. And I would hate to see that disregarded. There are areas which would be fine for development and other areas, no.
Right. And I mean, like I said, these are just like little bullet, like we could definitely expand
I
upon
could see that
these.
as
And
an.
like number 5 and number 1 are both, you know, they talk about
Oh, I
the
could see
stuff that we
as
have, but we could
eight.
expand those
It's
bullet
number
points.
8, it could not be, could be number 8 is what you're talking about.
Right. Because like, I'm with you on the rural character, it's like, okay, what is exactly rural character?
That's what I mean.
And some of the conversations I've been on from various committees is, oh, we wanna build a house. And so, okay, these guys are on the same road, I'm pretending now, and I don't want to see your house, these people are saying. So you have to build it way down here. And to build it way down there, you disrupt a wetland, you put it close to a protected body of water, just so they don't see your house from the road.
Right.
That rankles me, I'm sorry.
See, I would.
If that's
Mary,
maintaining rural character.
I would say almost what you did term would be either next to 1 or number 8 to protect the ecological diversity of the land and expand on what you just said. Because I think that's a vital part.
That's kind of what 5 does, but
I
maybe we can reinforce it with a.
I think we can reinforce it in 1 and 5.
Yeah, I just think those are one of the things that are unique about the wetlands and the fact that so many we're one of the great places for bird migration.
Well, the wetlands are legally protected too. It's just sometimes people play a little loose with it. So yeah, just a little bit more emphasis on that, that's all.
I'd agree with
Yeah.
that. So let's put them in right now.
Well,
I think that's gonna be, what's gonna be, like, once we get the SharePoint up, that we can start feeding some of this stuff in and people can add to it, add comments. You know, we can definitely start printing things out, wordsmithing, and, you know, seeing where we wanna go from there. But
I have a quick question. I've not ever used SharePoint. I've used a bunch of others that are share and edit documents. Now, if I go in and edit, does it show that I edited it? Does it track changes?
it can.
And it can somebody go in and reject what I did and go back to the normal? How do you?
Previous revs are saved.
Yeah, but does it do the whole document or does it just do that piece?
Depends on how you've set it up. I think we're gonna have to wait until, I can't answer that until I see how it's set
Yeah,
up,
I've never
because you
done it
can
with
set it
this.
up and have it to track changes, to lock, you know, and to approve and reject. You can do all those things usually with it, but I don't know how it's set up, because sometimes you can set it password protected, so only one person can be the main person that goes in and does that, and everybody else can go in and you
Yeah,
can
it's like
see
read only, but you can
everything,
comment,
yeah.
Yeah, you
So,
can't edit, but you
just
can
need to
comment.
just figure out how we wanna set it up.
Yeah.
And then, once it's all set up,
I think it should probably be that we comment, because if you
Yes.
wanted to add a paragraph or strike a paragraph, you can do that in comments. And
Yeah.
then the editor for your chapter or whatever can go in and we can discuss it at a meeting.
suggestions, yeah.
Yeah, rather than just willy-nilly going
Yeah.
and do it.
Absolutely.
I think there needs to be some control.
I would also like to see a culture of civic collaboration and transparency. I think one of the great problems that we have in Nottingham is a lack of communication. It's been resurrected with a newsletter, a town newsletter, which is the beginning of it. But I think that we need a better way of keeping people informed about what's going on in this town. It annoyed the hell out of me that we had the 300th anniversary and people in town throughout that year did not know we were having the 300th. It struck me as crazy.
Yeah.
So I would like to strengthen that with more media or somehow ways of information sharing.
Again, this was just something to bring,
No,
to hand out,
this,
to-
you
that
got,
we could just take with us and look and like digest and, you know, just to add to the kind of the conversation upon with the visioning stuff.
I think this is very nice.
it's a great beginning.
I really like the service-driven planning piece of it, you know, paralleling the growth. I do like that.
I would add in to encourage the community character. My favorite word is unique. I want to use that in there. Just to be quibbling, the vision statement is different than a mission statement. This is much more global. We have a mission statement for this committee versus a vision statement, or is it the same thing?
No, it's not the same. Our mission is to update the master plan.
Good, okay,
That's our mission.
right. So I like this I think the vision is much more global,
Mhm.
which you've captured here.
Well, the vision is what our revised master plan hopes to attain,
Yes.
right?
Right.
Right, okay. Yes, that links the two, thank you.
Yeah, because all of the chapters feed up into this vision. And this vision influences all the other chapters. What's McKinney-Vento student instances?
Homeless. It's just another way to say homeless students. McKinney, we can take that out. It's just, McKinney-Vento Act is funding to support students who were displaced or homeless. And I think probably that just comes in because it was brought up by, Laura when I did the, interview with her about schools, because we do have students that come in that are displaced or
Mhm,
homeless and that we have to provide services for. And I mean, sometimes they may be living with another family member, or they may be living in a trailer outside of a family member's home or something, so they fall under the McKinney-Vento Act.
So that's not the foster system, it's.
No, this is something
Wandering
entirely separate.
kid.
Yeah, I'm not sure how knowledgeable, I'm
Yeah,
not certainly,
no,
but
we
maybe
can-
there's a
I-
generic term
Yeah,
that's
just seniors
culturally
living,
appropriate.
could even just be, you could even just say in homelessness, but we don't even need to put that in, we could just say like, again, implementation priorities, this wasn't,
We could say potentials for homelessness or
yes.
the frequency of homelessness.
You can use that
I think,
stupid term.
I just wanted to add something in there so that people will be aware that it does like,
Mhm.
you know, there are instances of it happening, because I don't think people think that it does happen here in Nottingham, but it
Mhm.
does.
Mm,
And more frequently than people know. I mean, because I'm the person who, you know, one of the liaisons at school, and I have to fill out the paperwork and do grants and write money in and help support those kids, you know, transportation from other towns, because this is actually where they are going to school or have some residence, but they have to come because they don't have a permanent spot. You know, sometimes that stuff happens, and it happens sometimes because we don't have enough affordable housing for families who, you know, so they can't stay necessarily, or they can't find an apartment and they need to be near, you know, a relative who needs support or something like that.
Yep. I think it's great.
Certainly a lot to think about.
Yeah,
I guess how much you want to, would think it tonight or just think about it?
Just think about it.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I don't really want anybody to think they needed to wordsmith anything tonight. This was just to contribute to the,
Well, it's a
To the
great
discussion.
contribution.
yeah, thanks for doing that.
because I like to type.
We're fortunate, we've gotten several grants this year that I'm just looking at leverage resources for recreation, conservation and planning grants. Certainly they've made this all possible.
And also, you know, open space and greenway corridors, you know, I don't even think when this other master plan was done, that we had any Bear Paw Regional Greenway, I didn't include Selt either. But we didn't have anything from Selt or Bear Paw at the time. So I think it would be great when we update all of this to include a lot of those tracks and a lot of those new resources.
Yeah.
Just in the last 10 years, there's so many in town, it's crazy. It's great.
I would use the word, we talk about the evolution of the town's character, I would put in the word history, because we have an incredibly rich history of this town.
Absolutely.
That's because you've lived here for 100 years.
What?
Nothing, he didn't say anything.
No.
He said because you've lived here for 100 years plus.
That's because you've lived here.
Look,
A lot of history here.
look, Kevin, in 1722, we talked about this. We said some guy with white hair is gonna come back.
There are a lot of white-haired guys around.
And that's what's on your hat.
No, but again, it's an amazing bit of history. I'll give you one thing I'm pursuing, just to show you. how many of you familiar with the USS Kearsarge from the Civil War? It sank the Confederate raid of the Alabama. It's the most famous ship ever built in the Portsmouth Navy shipyard. Now, I'm tracking down some information to show that the wood for that ship came from Nottingham.
Oh, that's neat.
Also that, for example, Robert Frost hiked Pawtuckaway Mountain all the time. There's some really neat history that we can claim besides the four generals and the alarm march. So, I mean, I think there's some really fascinating history that we can continue to trumpet.
I think so too.
So Dirk, what's our milestones and deadlines that you put here?
Timeline and next steps?
Yeah,
Sure.
timeline and next steps. Well, we got a meeting next month. And I think the timeline. Let's go back to the list of. So the housing and natural resources will have kind of its own timeline driven with Blair and the grant.
Mm-hmm.
The land use, you already have a good start at that.
Mhm.
And I think what we need to do is, once we get the SharePoint, I think by this time, next meeting, we should have all of the documentation up on the SharePoint that we're going to use to edit. And then once, I think part of next month's meeting should be what other information is needed for these chapters, whether it is data, whether it is photos, whether, there's some other things that need to go into it to write the chapter.
Do you think we're at that point where we can have it all up before next meeting?
Okay, I believe
sure.
one of the things that I'd like to have done,
We certainly can start a list and
Yeah.
have it.
Yeah.
And start pushing stuff to.
Sarah,
Blair
this
and
is
all
so good. Will this be on that?
I can push this into there so that we can see it.
This should be on a. Also, I question the idea of the system by which we are determining when we meet. The fact is, if we look at the attendance, the system is not working.
Well, it's summertime, give it a,
Right.
It's tough
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
summer.
All
but to
right.
that point, Dirk, you might wanna start to put out when do you wanna do in September?
Yeah, I know,
You might get a larger,
yeah, I know, I'm
Feedback.
realizing that just doing it one meeting at a time, a few weeks before the meeting time is not a good idea. So that's why I
Things
think
change.
the August one, we now have set. After this, I'll set maybe the September and October. And then that way I'll put out a poll for September and October now,
Yes,
so that people can then reserve those days. And hopefully we'll have.
Yeah, and
I think there's a
obviously-
lot of visiting company and all that kind of stuff in the summer.
Yeah,
I just got through with 2 weeks of people. Yeah, it was awesome, but I couldn't do anything else.
But I think at the end of August too, because the next meeting's August 26th, I mean, school will have started, or it starts that week. So people will be back in town,
Yeah.
people will be around,
so Dirk, you
It'd
said
be a lot
all of
easier.
the information.
no, I'm just saying what information you have.
Well,
Oh.
but there's been a lot of information, mostly emails, and a lot from Blair, especially early on,
Yeah,
right? That I've it's in there, but it isn't here, or it isn't all in one place. So I don't know if he could backstep and grab some of that old, cause he was putting out data for us to start to use.
yes,
I know he did, cause I saw it.
Yeah.
Now I gotta go find it again,
yeah,
and.
I have all the emails
So when you
in
said
a
all,
folder.
capital ALL would be nice to have,
Yeah.
because you just don't wanna lose it, it's already,
yeah, we'll have an area, that will be data. And I think it'd be helpful if it's available for all chapters, right? Just because of the housing
yeah, definitely.
and
Yeah.
maybe there's housing numbers.
we have also,
Hey.
we have the survey, right, because that would be a good thing to put in there. The
Yeah.
results of the survey.
Yeah. Yep. So that's what I mean by all available information we have.
Good.
Should be up on the site by August. I mean, yeah. the end of August.
And I haven't clicked in yet, but as soon as I click in and I can see it and start moving around in there, I can see what I have and I can do a big upload if if that helps too.
Yeah, I think it's just a matter of getting this stuff organized. Getting a site where it's organized, where
That's right.
everybody in one place, that everybody has access to it.
And again, this is only access to this committee, obviously.
Yep.
Yep.
Good.
That's all I really had.
I'm a big fan of using the time you need,
Yeah, yeah.
not using necessarily all the time you
I am the
have.
same way. I would open it up for public comment, but we don't have any.
11, 14, or
Uh,
15.
Kurt,